Good morning. It is way too early o'clock, and we are going to take today the Spider to Lizzie Borden's house.
Our story begins with an uneventful drive to Fall River, Massachusetts. Our destination was the former Borden residence, which now acts as a bed and breakfast. This house was also the setting for one of the most infamous double homicides in American history. On August 4th, 1892, Andrew Borden and his wife Abby were murdered in this house. The murderer's weapon of choice was either an axe or a hatchet. This is a murder which to this day remains unsolved.
So here it is. This is the Lizzie Borden house. So there's the house. That's the Lizzie Borden house. And we're going to be staying in probably the wrong room tonight. And it's all her fault.
Our room for the evening is called the John Morse Room. It is the room in which Abby Borden was murdered. Her dead body lay mutilated within a foot of the bed in which we would be sleeping that evening. Some would take this to be a somber place or a place to be frightened of. Yeah, that's not us. It was 130 years ago. Neither of us truly believe in ghosts. Well, at least I don't anyway. I understand things happen that, we as humans don't fully understand or can explain. I've experienced some of these things in my lifetime. Our stay at the Borden home was motivated by an historical, morbid curiosity. It wasn't a ghost hunt. So what you see at the end of this video came as a shock to me when I reviewed all our footage. A little bit more on that later. Let's take a quick tour of the Borden home. We're going to start with the second floor. A note here, we were unable to video the second floor other than the room in which we were staying, as other guests were occupying those rooms. The front guest room, our room, is where Abby's body was found. It's marked by a Z on the floor plan. Two things to point out here. The doorway between Lizzie and Andrew and Abby's room, it's marked by an X. This was permanently nailed shut by Andrew for privacy. This means the only access to the front or the rear of the second-story bedrooms was by the front or rear staircases. The first floor today is very close to as it was in 1892. The sofa, shown in the sitting room, is where Andrew's body was found. You may notice there are no bathrooms. Many people had indoor plumbing at this time. However, Andrew did not feel it was necessary and refused to install it in the home. We start our tour in the front entranceway. This is where guests were welcomed into the home. It is also the entrance used by police and onlookers the day of the murders. We are moving to the sitting room. The heat radiators, trim work, as well as the doorknobs are original to the house, and they were installed by Andrew Borden. This is the room where the body of Andrew Borden was found. The kitchen has been updated with modern appliances for the bed and breakfast, but it still retains the original layout. We were able to video the stairwell to the basement. This is where a basin of water with blood in it and a hatchet with a broken handle was found by investigators. The rear stairwell shown here was the only access to Andrew and Abby's bedroom. The dining room is the location of the family's last meal together. It was breakfast that morning of August 4th. It is also the location where the autopsies were performed on Andrew and Abby. The museum displays autopsy boards from the 1890s, as well as replica skulls of both Andrew and Abby. A casting of the skulls was introduced as surprise evidence during Lizzie's trial by the prosecution. This caused Lizzie to faint in the courtroom itself. We finish our tour in the parlor. This room was used for Andrew and Abby's wake. Over 75 people attended, and despite the shocking wounds of the deceased, the coffins were open for viewing, with intact portions of both murder victims facing outward. This is also the room where several police interviews occurred, including that of Lizzie herself. Andrew purchased this house due to its location. It was walking distance to several of his businesses. Lizzie and Emma never wanted to live in this part of town and complained on a regular basis. They wanted to move to the more affluent Hill District. I made a few comments early in the evening that at the time I thought were funny. I was joking around a little to lighten the mood. Here's a couple examples. Well, we are sleeping at the scene of the crime. Here's the one crime scene. That's where Lizzie Borden's stepmother lay. Here's the other crime scene. My wife paid $100 for this box of junk, and it doesn't do anything. Upon our return home, I promised my wife I would go through our footage and see if I found anything out of the ordinary. Now, I make automotive videos for YouTube, and I do this because I enjoy it. I like cars, and it's just a fun thing for me to do. So neither myself nor my wife know how to properly use paranormal detection equipment. At the time, I considered the $100 rental as money basically tossed out the window by my wife. And I looked at what was labeled a spirit box as a cheap AM/FM scanner. That was until I heard this.
Abby Borden, can you hear me?
What was that?
The word corking has no meaning to anyone in the year 2021. However, to a person that was born in New England in the year 1928, it meant fine, excellent, or exceptionally well. Also, according to the Collins Dictionary, it was a commonly used word from the early 1700s to the early 1900s. Now, is this evidence of communication with Abby Borden? Maybe. Maybe it just is a random AM signal that came across an AM receiver. It was as a female voice, and I can't think of anyone using the word corking today in any conversation, at least not in the United States. Anyway, you be the judge. And if you're looking for a different type of destination, I can give a positive recommendation to the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast. A bit of advice: take one of the tours of the home during the day. They're very informative and entertaining. Also, definitely learn how to use ghost hunting equipment or bring your own. And if you hear footsteps at night, get out of bed and get your video equipment rolling. Okay, that's all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.